feel like I should be putting on my cardigan sweater right now. Good morning and welcome to First Parish in Needham, a Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Eleanor Rossellini. Just in case I forgot, I have it written down here. I've been a member since 2001 when my family moved back to Massachusetts from Indiana, and I've been active in the Green Congregation Committee for all those 24 years. You can learn more about what's happening at First Parish by going to our website, uuneedham.org, and signing up for our weekly email newsletter, or by following us on social media. What drew me to First Parish is that we are a congregation with many different ideas about theology, but we share a commitment to live good and meaningful lives. We support each other with friendship, with love, with deep conversation, and with fun as we strive to live out our shared values of the inherent worth and dignity of every person, respecting the earth, and co-creating beloved community. So whoever you are, whoever you love, whatever your background or identity, your age or stage, and wherever you're participating from, you are welcome here. I know these are discouraging times, but today, on Earth Sunday, as we joyfully welcome Reverend Katie back, I invite you to celebrate First Parish's environmental accomplishments. You may not realize it, but you are sitting in an extraordinarily green building. During my 24 years at First Parish, thanks to the creativity and commitment of the entire congregation, I have witnessed a total transformation. From having drafty, under-insulated buildings with a carbon-spewing heating system to becoming the first house of worship in Massachusetts to earn the EPA Energy Star rating for superior energy efficiency. For example, look up at these lovely lights giving a warm glow to our service. Those are super energy efficient LED lights powered by electricity from the 38 solar panels on our roof. And you can't see it, but the 1-foot space behind these sanctuary walls were once empty, and they are now filled with cellulose insulation to keep us comfortable and save energy. And compared to 18 years ago, the social hour we'll enjoy today creates about 90% less waste. These kinds of changes since 2007 enabled our church to reduce its carbon emissions by 2/3. We hope you'll tune in on Zoom to our May 27th Lane Lyceum, the greening of First Parish, to get the inside information about our inspirational green transformation and where we might go next, and to get ideas about changes you might want to make. Watch for information in the bell notes and visit the Green Congregation table at Social Hour today for a sneak preview. If you're a newcomer, take a big red cup so everyone will know to welcome you. And for Needham residents, we also have information on the table about the 100% green electricity option for our town's Needham Power Choice program. So once again, to everyone here in the building and online, we're so glad you're here.
You have a thing? You have to come to a microphone then, Richard. So the other Katie's speak. Hi, everyone.
Don't say no to a microphone.
Yeah.
I'm here not to ask you for your pledges,
For once, goodness.
although
Sure.
always welcome.
Always welcome.
I'm here on behalf of the parish committee and the worship committee. We wanted to just take a pause in our service this morning and welcome you back from your sabbatical. It's so nice to see you and your family here this morning. I think we did okay while you were gone.
Yeah.
I know as you go through your emails and everything else, you'll find out things and other
Slowly
things,
but surely.
other things you may not find out, which is okay too. More importantly, I hope you did okay and had a wonderful sabbatical. And we want to present you with some flowers that our congregation made last Sunday, and a crown of flowers also. to represent your return and the springtime flowers that are blooming outside. Welcome back.
Well, thank you, as though I wasn't already like a little bit encumbered by what I was wearing. These are very cute. I do feel, do they still do this at bridal showers, where they like take all the stuff from all the wrapping and they make a bouquet, and that's your bouquet at your rehearsal? Do they still, because that's what this feels like. I'm back. Hi. You all have redecorated since Christmas. It's great to be here. I am going to put these down somewhere, and I know that there's a small child in the back who will want all of this. Oh, she's coming right now. She's coming right now. She's not going to be near open flame during the service, so that's probably for the best. She'll take good care of them. As we light our chalice, what were we doing? As we light our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, we read words adapted as a community prayer from Queer Black UU minister Reverend Patrice Curtis. Divine universe, here we are on a cusp of a new day. All may seem the same at first, a simple continuum of the day before, but we do not know what this day will bring us. May we carry with us times of quiet so we may feel the pulse of our connection to each other and to all beings, that we may hear the whisper of the earth in our bones. May we use our hands, our heads, and our hearts in service to heal hurt and to spread light to all people, to all beings, and to our shared home. For our opening hymn, For the Earth Forever Turning, that was composed by modern saxophonist and composer Paul Winter for his Missa Gaia, or Earth Mass. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing For the Earth Forever Turning. The lyrics are in your orders of service on screen and at number 163 in your gray hymnals.
In the Unitarian Universalist tradition, the covenant is a set of promises the membership of a congregation strives to honor with one another and out in the world. Whether we participate in our community online or in the building, we strive to live these promises every day. Please say along with me the words of our parish covenant as in your order of service and on the screen. We gather as a loving community to encourage and comfort one another. We gather as a diverse community to support each other in our search for spiritual truth. We gather as a service community to live our beliefs through action and care for our world.
For our Time for All Ages this morning, we honor the spiritual and ethical inspiration we draw from our interconnected earth and from great poets, celebrating both Earth Day and National Poetry Month. We'll hear directly from Muskogee singer-songwriter and former U.S. Poet Laureate Joy Harjo with her poem and now children's book, Remember.
Hello, my name is Joy Harjo. I'm so happy to be here with you today. I'm Muskogee of the Muskogee Creek Nation and live outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Muskogee Creek Nation Reservation. And I'm happy to read Remember to you. Remember came from a poem that I wrote some time ago, thinking about those wise things that I had been told when I was probably about your age, things that I needed to think about and remember and to take with me. Some things were given to carry in our hands, like when you go to school, you gotta take your pencils, pens, and all of that stuff in your backpack that weighs you down, books, assignments. But there are some things that you take into your heart, so that when you walk your path on this earth, you'll have the words that you need to keep you strong and to inspire you and to remind you of people who love you. And that's really what this book, Remember, that I'm going to read to you is about, is giving you some words and images, beautiful images by Michaela Goad, so that you can carry these in your heart and they'll be there if you need them. Because as human beings, we all go through tough stories in our lives, even as we walk through times of tremendous happiness and beauty. So I'm glad you're here, and now I'm going to read Remember. Remember, poem by U.S. Poet Laureate Joy Harjo, illustrations by Caldecott medalist Michaela Goad. Remember the sky you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away tonight. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father, he is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are, red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth, we are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk with them, listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind, remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember you are all people, and all people are you. Remember all is in motion, is growing as you. Remember, you are this universe, and this universe is you. Remember. So thank you so much, or mado, as we say in our Muskogee language, for reading along with me, for reading Remember.
And thank you, Joy Harjo, for this beautiful poem, and many thanks to Michaela Goad for her artistic rendering of the poem. Let's return for a moment to how Joy Harjo introduced her poem. Take a deep breath in and out, and ask ourselves, what wise words and values do we carry in our hearts to give us strength and inspiration? Who are the people or creatures who love you? Are some of them nearby right now, physically or on screen? Can you remember a time when those wise words or those who love you guided you through a hard time, or guided you in helping someone else through a hard time? May we remember our important, unique, and beloved place in the interconnected web of all existence. May we remember it each time the sun and moon rise and set, when we feel the wind blow, when we encounter the alive poems of other inherently worthy beings on our journeys on our precious planet Earth. Amen. Now, before our kids head out, I know that you all may have some questions about what I did or did not do over my sabbatical, and I may end up having a Lane Lyceum slot to tell you more if people are actually interested. I haven't heard yet, because I only got back Friday. But for now, I thought I'd show you a little something on screen to give you that taste.
Now we're gonna walk.
Miss you. Oh my gosh.
Yay, Sophia!
Good luck, Barbie.
Oh my gosh, there it is! Three!
That picture.
Mango, Bishop.
Happy New Year!
Okay, pretty good.
Yeah!
Oh no!
I saw a lot of creatures. That's what I did. I went and visited animals. Sophia's like, I remember those things. As our children follow Priscilla and Corey to their All Kids Together program, please join in singing Long Time Son as in your orders of service and on screen.
May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on.
During our worship service when we share the milestones and obstacles, joys and sorrows that are very close to our hearts and to our lives. As you know, but I have only very recently learned, we are experimenting with a new way of doing our candles ritual, writing candles cards, lighting candles both before and at the beginning of worship. And please remember, you could come up anytime, I assume also now, to write a candle card, light a candle here. And our ministerial intern, Dara Bryans, is also receiving pre-submitted candles at candles@uuneedham.org. This morning, we lift up these joys that have been shared. A joy of candle and appreciation from the First Parish community for our amazing senior youth group and their leaders, Byron Dorfer, Reverend Jenna, and Dara, who are flying home today from their week-long service trip to Asheville, assisting with ongoing hurricane recovery efforts. They are an inspiration to us all. A candle of joy and hope as well from the First Parish staff team for our colleague, Dara Bryans, as she leads her first worship service. Thank you. At the First Parish Church in Duxbury this morning as their candidate for minister. She's in our hearts and prayers, and may they be a match. I figured it out. A candle of joy from Rebecca Keller-Scholl. I'm so happy that Reverend Katie is back where we can appreciate her. And thank you. And I myself have joy and gratitude for all of you at First Parish for this winter, when you graciously honored the tradition of ministers taking sabbatical leave. I do feel like the seasons that after time to rest and recover, I'm more ready to bloom with you this spring. And we hold the following sorrows and concerns in our community from Judy Hadrick for her friend Paul, who's having a mental health crisis. A candle from Eleanor Rossellini to keep Clara Gokowski in our hearts. She's at Mass General Hospital, where doctors are investigating her sudden loss of vision. Many of you may have seen her last week at Easter, and she is actually no longer able really to see in this last week. So she's been at Mass Eye and Ear since Friday. We hope that she's getting all the support. They're doing a lot of tests. And hopefully a treatment plan comes into focus soon. From Tracy Zenjian, a candle of joy and concern all mixed up, that their daughter, I assume Lucy, took the government's offer to leave her job. Not what she wanted, but she's looking forward to new opportunities. And these are candles from Andrea Grealish. Candles of concern. My soccer teammate Marianne was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer. We hold her in our hearts. Her friend's son at 27 took his own life, and a group of us made a large donation to NAMI, National Association for Mental Illness, which you're also encouraged to do today, during or before our Lane Lyceum. We hold your friend and her whole community and family in our hearts. And yesterday would have been Andrea and Kevin's 39th wedding anniversary. And she says she misses Kevin every day. We miss Kevin so dearly. And finally, we share a candle of hope and prayer for our world, a candle for all those who are mourning the death of Pope Francis. May his passion and leadership in climate justice, economic justice, immigration justice, and peace in Palestine continue to inspire Catholics and other spiritual people around the world. Thank you for sharing these joys, sorrows, and cares for the world, for all those joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts, and for all the prayers of our neighbors near and far. We light one final silent candle. May the peace in this sanctuary be felt too wherever you are participating from, as we remember that even though we are worshiping in different times and places, we are still deeply connected. As we join together in the spirit of prayer and meditation, let us center ourselves on this precious present moment, taking deep breaths together, in and out. Letting any tense muscles relax and settling into more comfortable alertness, allowing our eyes to close or to gaze softly, perhaps out a nearby window, seeing our beautiful blue-green earth. As we continue to breathe and be together, our prayer is adapted from Choctaw retired Episcopal Bishop Reverend Stephen Charleston. We live within the circle of life. Above us the sky, below us the ground of love. In 4 directions we recognize the compass that binds us to all living things. This is our spiritual gyroscope, the equilibrium of kinship. All are relatives. Every living creature, every bird that flies, every fish that swims, every animal that walks the earth, they are all our relatives. In the great family of spirit, the spirals of kinship weave us into relationship, mutual caring, connected. The earth is holy. She is our sacred mother. For centuries upon centuries, indigenous ancestors knew this and lived beneath the shelter of her great forests and high mountains. Today we still know it even as she struggles to survive. All cultures, all people can learn to live in harmony with the cycles of life. It is simply a matter of practicing what we preach. Let us be determined to do so. Our mother needs us, calls to us. Let every child of earth rise up now for what must be done to save her. Amen. Please remain seated and join in singing our meditative response, The Lone Wild Bird. The lyrics are in your orders of service on screen and at number 15 in your gray hymnals. This congregation has been supported by the volunteered time and treasure of its members and friends since its founding in 1711. This is the time in our service when we, the modern stewards of the church, offer what we can to build and sustain the congregation and the world we envision. For the month of April, you all have been sharing the collection plate 50-50 with the Needham Community Farm. The Community Farm is a local nonprofit that educates people about sustainable growing, helps volunteers get back in touch with the earth and with each other, and supplies fresh seasonal produce to the Community Council Food Pantry and Needham Housing Authority sites. To donate to today's offering, you can use one of 3 different methods as described in detail in your orders of service, using text to give or donating through the website or dropping cash or a check in our collection plates, or mailing a check to First Parish. Whichever way you donate, remember to specify whether it's meant for the plate collection or for your annual pledge. And has anyone mentioned yet about the annual pledge? Now you have to select the correct year, now that, of course, all of you have pledged for next year. Did anyone mention it? Okay, well, you'll figure it out. And if this is one of your first visits to First Parish, we also encourage you to fill out a yellow card in your pew back, to drop in the collection plate, or to fill out our online visitors form at uuneedham.updates.church. And many thanks this morning to Judy Hadrick for our beautiful flowers given in memory of her friends Judith Warren and Sarah Young. And thank you for everything you are able to give to help support and sustain this congregation and the vital work of our community partners. May the ushers please come forward.
I'm the Reverend Dr. Molly Hausch Gordon, the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbia, Missouri. I am a white woman with red hair that's very long on one side and very short on the other, and I'm wearing a blue cardigan and a green stole. To survive the end of the world, stockpile seeds, water-purifying tablets, and essential drugs. Learn first aid and how to shoot a gun or crossbow. Relearn the skills your ancestors had, like building shelters and starting fires. Travel with a diverse group from many varied skill sets, perspectives, hopes, and memories. You need the children and the elders too. Find a defensible location with an adequate supply of water and good soil. Use the landscape that is left. Build community. Lean into community. Rely on each other. Include others. And for God's sake, check the backseat for zombies before you get in the car. I think this could be a generational thing, but my friends and I have been half jokingly, half seriously planning how to survive the zombie apocalypse for as long as I can remember. Over board games, over potluck dinners, sometimes over strong drinks. We are halfway serious because we saw when we were young children that nobody was going to save the rainforest or any of the rest of it. And we're halfway joking because we understand instinctively what T.S. Eliot wrote at the end of his poem, The Hollow Min, which some of us read in English class. This is the way the world ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper. It's not going to be as cataclysmic as total breakdown all at once. Apocalypse moves more slowly than that. It's always less obvious. In every zombie movie, only the truly alarmists notice what's happening before it's too late. Surviving is more like rooting down in community, less like fleeing to a remote castle. We're halfway joking about the zombie apocalypse because in some ways, what we face isn't new. The world is always ending somewhere, and another one is always being born. For my generation, it ended on September 11th, 2001, during my last year of high school, and a new one began on September 12th. It ended and began in your generation, too. And of course, it most recently ended and began again in spring of 2020. There have been worlds ending since humans could first conceive of a world. The world has been ending since the moment it began. It has ended and begun in every age. And here is one good true thing about that. We each hold personal and ancestral wisdom about how to survive the end of the world because we've already been doing it. But my friends and I are halfway serious because now when we say the world is ending, we mean something a little bigger. We mean an actual crisis in the existence of life on the earth. We mean the sixth great extinction, which is more rapid and more complete than any in history, and which this time might include us. We mean that the climate catastrophe we learned about before we were old enough to doubt science is here. It's worse than we thought. It's happening faster than we imagined, and it is accelerating. And so, yes, we are serious about surviving the end of the world. But only as serious as we can afford to be while staying emotionally and spiritually intact. The world needs us to stay emotionally and spiritually intact. Our children's children's children need us to stay emotionally and spiritually intact. I speak to you as the mother of 2 young children who will inherit the work we do in this moment. And so I want to tell you that I have no interest in despair and no time for fatalism. I am here to grieve and feel my way through this with you, and I am here to talk about adaptation and survival. Because the apocalypse is already unfolding in 100 different ways, and it has been, and what we do to build community and adapt and halt harm and find beauty and celebrate joy, all of that matters for how it continues to unfold. One of the things I find myself doing most often in ministry is being present to the grief that we humans encounter when we truly understand that we cannot entirely save what we love. But one of the beautiful truths I often witness is that when we own the truth of our helplessness and turn toward our grief, new possibilities always seem to open up. In these times, we need to apply that hopeful helplessness, that productive grief to our relationship with the world. We cannot save the world, but we can find transforming ways to spend our lives on and with it. And so to remain emotionally and spiritually intact in these times, we need to turn and face all that is being destroyed, to grieve and lament it in the depths of community. We need to sit in the rubble of it and pick up the pebbles and watch them fall through our fingers. And we need to turn our faces toward the sun. Late in the sky though it may be, we need to attend to the beauty that is still here, the connection that never left, and the new life that inexorably springs up even in the midst of death, because the breakdown and the rebuilding are happening all at the same time, as they must. Last week, a local activist to my community, Rachel Taylor, riffed on that T.S. Eliot poem on Facebook in a reflection that I have been thinking about ever since, because it resonates so profoundly with my experience in this time of climate breakdown, while the forces of white supremacy and patriarchy and global capitalism are at once quietly crumbling and loudly reasserting themselves all around us. Rachel writes, "The real secret of the apocalypse is not that it comes with a bang or a whimper, but that it comes while you're doing other things. Taking the kids to school, paying the bills, going to see your friends play. All the stuff of normal life happens until it doesn't. For you. But your neighbor still has to do the laundry and schlep his mom to the grocery store." She writes, "So you try to keep going and take care of the things that are still working while also trying to fight injustice and stop genocides. You do what you can. Someday it's just surviving. Other days you can put your body between the machine and those more vulnerable than you, but you can't do that every day until you have to." Rachel writes, "The secret is that you don't get a break to build a better world. You have to do it while still surviving in this one. You have to do it like a secret obsession, like a shameful hobby. You have to do it because it's exciting and dangerous and subversive and necessary. You have to share it with other Kingsters like yourself because you are not alone in this wanting, this desire. But you still have to do the dishes." Life as we know it isn't ending exactly. Not for those of us in this wealthy country. It's changing dramatically, but not entirely and not all at once. And perhaps that is part of the problem. Because it's life as we know it that got us here. Like a zombie virus, this apocalypse was planted like a seed in everything about the extractive economy that has shaped everything about our world and lives. That zombie virus has been cropping up here and there. It's been lying dormant, but it's been here. It's been riddling the whole world ever since someone first decided on the lifestyle of plunder. And we have to live in this world, fighting the zombie virus, which, if you haven't caught on, is white supremacist, heteropatriarchal capitalism. It is the worldview that steals worth instead of respecting and multiplying it. We have to fight that zombie virus in us and in everything that we love about our lives. We have to heal from it while living in it. We have to grow something new while we cut it back from its chokehold on our lives. This sermon takes its title from a podcast created by liberation activists Adrienne and Autumn Brown. Inspired by the scary, prescient, dystopian work of Black science fiction writer Octavia Butler, the Brown sisters set out to create a podcast that, quote, learns from apocalypse with grace and rigor. Their work takes seriously all of the things that are painfully ending and must end in our world, but takes equally serious the things that we are birthing and growing to take their place, and the ways that we protect the most vulnerable even amid the crumbling. They have episodes on creating restorative justice practices in the midst of mass incarceration, embodied healing in the midst of white supremacy, rest and pleasure in the grind of capitalism, growing and preserving food in the midst of climate crisis, and more. Their point, which I seek to echo, is that if we are to survive, the structures of the world as we know it must end and are ending. And we are surviving their end and building and birthing the new all at once while protecting the most vulnerable. Joanna Macy identifies this moment as a decision point, when we will either enter the great unraveling or choose a great turning, back to the earth and back to one another. Or as the climate justice collective movement generation puts us, the transition is happening. The question now is, will it be just? The world as we know it, the one that is ending and must end if we are to survive, is structured around what climate justice collective movement generation calls the extractive economy. This economy describes not just how money moves, but how our society is structured around extracting and controlling value, worth, and wealth from the earth's resources, which includes us, her people. All of the big systems of domination are built around this ethic of extraction. And after millennia of its systemic perfection, we have no idea what a world without it would look like. There is a saying attributed to two different philosophers, Frederick Jameson and Slavoj Žižek. It is easier to imagine an end to the world than an end to capitalism. And our leaders seem to take that at its word. But to survive the end of the world, we must not only imagine, but actually live the end of capitalism. The trouble, of course, is that we have no idea how to do that. It is too big to fail, too assumed in our lives to even understand. It is simply the water in which we swim. It is reality. And so perhaps we must practice living in unreality. We don't know how, but we must do it anyway, or consent to a bigger, badder end of the world than we have ever known. Greta Thunberg tells us avoiding climate breakdown will require cathedral thinking. We must lay the foundation while we may not know exactly how to build the ceiling. Sometimes we simply have to find a way. But there are hints about how to go along the way. According to the Movement Generation Collective, a just transition will be one that moves us from the extractive economy to a regenerative economy. And so they suggest we make this transition by divesting ourselves from the extractive economy, starving and stopping its power by removing our cooperation, while simultaneously investing in the regenerative economy, feeding and growing its power, its ethic of sharing and regeneration and sustainability. Often I think that young people are leading us in this time because they are not yet so indoctrinated into the ways things have always been and therefore must always be. They can still imagine otherwise. And so it is essential that we listen to the dreams of young people and radicals, calling us to a just transition from the world that is ending to the world that can still be born if we will act. The decision point we see unfolding now is the question of whether a few will succeed in doubling down on extracting wealth and worth from the earth and its people, or whether the many will awaken together into the work of shift, into the work of starving the structures of extractive economy by investing in a regenerative economy focused on sacredness and solidarity and mutual thriving. As my friend Rachel pointed out, the secret is that you don't get a break to build a better world. You have to do it while still surviving this one. But there's another secret from the movement generation. The way we survive is by investing in all the alternatives that will starve the extractive economy. The way we truly survive is by finding daily ways to live the world we seek to create, and by doing it as a widespread collective in solidarity. It is as simple and as difficult as that. Wherever we can, fighting the extractive economy, demanding its dismantlement at the seats of power, and finding ways in our community to starve it where we live. Opting into the deep community that grows solidarity, that is how we survive. That's how life survives. We tear down the walls and we grow roots for another way inside the world that is crumbling. So here is my not at all joking, totally serious list of how to survive the end of the world. Get to know your neighbors. Feed them. Let them feed you. Watch each other's kids and grandkids and pets. Develop the muscle of generosity like you are training for a giving ultramarathon, because you are. Share everything you can with anyone who asks, and ask for what you need. Practice relying on others. Get in touch with your body. You will need it, and it knows things. Pay attention to what is happening below your neck. Tell the truth. Tell it to yourself first. Sit at the feet of your most vulnerable neighbors and your own most vulnerable places. They have the most to teach you about survival. Listen. Remember your ancestors and the things they survived. Find the resilience that is your birthright and the courage that made way for your life in this world. Practice taking risks. Show up in every struggle where someone is fighting for their dignity, because that is how we will all survive. Learn about reparations and native sovereignty and land back movements. Double down on exercising supremacy systems from your soul. Learn to be tender. Refuse to be hardened. Let your heart be moved every time. Root in the place you are. Learn its history. Learn its geography. Learn its seasons. Sing a lot and dance. Make art. Make love. Rest luxuriously. Eat pie. The world is ending and beginning now. We are surviving now. Let us love. Let us connect. And let us fight like hell for the dignity of each and all.
Thank you, Reverend Molly. You've nurtured some really incredible Unitarian Universalist ministers through this congregation, haven't you? Please join me in this responsive reading for healing from the 1990 United Nations Environmental Sabbath Liturgy. I'll cue you to speak the response that's in your orders of service. We join with the earth and with each other. To bring new life to the land, to restore the waters, to refresh the air, we join with the earth and with each other. To renew the forests and care for the plants, to protect the creatures, we join with the earth and with each other. to celebrate the seas, to rejoice in the sunlight, to sing the song of the stars, we join with the earth and with each other. To recall our destiny, to renew our spirits, to reinvigorate our bodies, we join with the earth and with each other. To recreate the human community, to promote justice and peace, to remember our children, we join with the earth and with each other. We join together as many and diverse expressions of one loving mystery for the healing of the earth and the renewal of all life. We join with the earth and with each other. Amen. As we near the end of our service, let me highlight for you some of what's coming up at First Parish. All are welcome at our social hour after the postlude, both online and on site. I'll be very happy to catch up with you all. If you're on site and a relative newcomer and you want long-timers to chat with you, as Eleanor mentioned, please take a red mug at social hour. They're very easy to spot and they are larger than the other mugs. After social hour today, please stay for a mental health awareness lane lyceum and discussion in Parish Hall and live streamed on Zoom. During the presentation, speakers with lived experience of mental health conditions will share their experiences and how they have found pathways to hope and to healing. National Poetry Month is nearly at an end, so please remember to walk our poetry path outside the Memorial Garden on our front lawn. There are wonderful haiku there from first parishioners of all ages and by Ann Needham, Needham's Poet Laureate. Many thanks to everyone who supported the poetry path, writing haiku to welcome spring, providing architectural and mechanical design, and handwriting each haiku. Our final Poetry Month event is actually next Sunday, May the 4th, at 3 p.m. in Parish Hall, an afternoon with poet, author, and teacher Charles Coe. Sponsored by the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, he'll address issues of social and political change through reading his own and others' poetry. And next Sunday evening, all families are welcome at our monthly Family Fun Night at 5:45. I've also been asked to tell you to save 5 upcoming dates in May. Friday, May 9th at 7 p.m. for our First Parish Trivia event hosted by our very own Alan Robbins and Bob Smart. Bob would like to show you the fabulous prize you could win. Ooh.
It's appropriately tacky.
Yeah, appropriately tacky, yes.
If your team wins, you get to keep it for a year, and then you have to bring it back so that you may do it again next year. Cost is $10, and we want it in cash because we can't handle any other method. And that's about it. The 9th. And the deal is, you walk in, and you pick out a number. So you get assigned as part of a team. And you get a chance to, find the things that are buried in your brain you haven't thought of in 20 years or 60 years or whatever, and you try to bring it out. So come, it'll be fun.
So what Bob's saying, bring your $10 in cash because it's too complicated to do anything otherwise. It's too complicated to do anything otherwise. May 9th, you'll get a team at the door randomly, and you'll get to keep the Einstein and sunglasses statue. I guess they have to fight over who keeps it in their home. Maybe it's like they divide it 2.5 months at a time. But then you have to bring it back for next year's trivia event. We'll have to start getting a plaque and put everybody's name on it. We've got some great ideas. Anyway, that was only the first event. Sunday, May 11th is the Louis D. Brown Peace Institute's Mother's Day Walk for Peace and a special luncheon celebration here at First Parish. Sunday, May 18th at noon is our congregation's annual meeting. As Eleanor shared in the welcome, Tuesday, May 27th, there's a lane lyceum about the greening of First Parish. And then Saturday, May 31st, 2 p.m., there's the ordination of our wonderful ministerial intern, Dara Bryans. You can find details about all of our upcoming events by subscribing to the bell notes, which you can also find in our online order of service, uuneedham.updates.church. We always extinguish our chalice with words promising to carry its flame in our hearts until we are together again. So please join me from home or here in the building in saying those words written by UU minister, Reverend Elizabeth Sally Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, nor the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we rise together again. Our closing hymn, Earth Was Given as a Garden, has a familiar tune from 19th century Welsh composer Roland Hugh Pritchard, and these lyrics are from Unitarian Universalist Quaker Roberta Bard. We've modified a line in the second verse to make the lyrics gender inclusive. So please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing Earth Was Given as a Garden. The lyrics are in your orders of service and on screen. As we close our worship today, take these words from Euro-American UU minister, Reverend Diana Smith, with you as a benediction. As we go forth from this sacred space, may we celebrate Earth and our shared lives. May we recognize our connections to all that is in and on Earth. May we truly and deeply value the inherent worth of all in this awesome interconnected web of existence. May we commit ourselves to a new way, and may we hold our commitments and each other gently, yet firmly. Our service begins when our service ends. I'm overjoyed to be back with you all. I've missed you. Blessed be, and amen.
For the postlude, you might have seen in the order of service, it's called Hajanga. Now, that's not a word from any language. It's a made-up word. And this song is by a newer artist named Jacob Collier, who has been hailed by Quincy Jones as the new messiah of jazz music. But his mother, Susie Collier, she's a violinist and a conductor. She's very well-renowned. And I'm taking this from a Reddit poster. But according to their research, Hajanga is a word that Jacob's mother made up, describing the force of your life and how everything goes in cycles. Everything goes up and down and round and round. It's people coming together, united by this celebratory force and a real sense of self-acceptance. The sense that everybody has this unified song that they sing, this idea of drawing from the whole of the universe around you, and then learning how to love the people around and the things around you, and learning how to love yourself in that. You learn to celebrate yourself in the context of a universal community of energetic things. So here's Hajanga. Come together as you are, to the ocean, to the sky. Sing that cosmic lullaby. Sing the Hajanga. Sing your pleasure, sing your pain, like you'll never sing again. Let it echo loud and clear across the ancient stratosphere. Even when the sun refused to shine, there's a song of love that never dies. Even when the good days pass you by, lift your voices to the sky, singing la 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 la. As the worlds go round and round, let the tears roll down and down. Sing the way you used to be, and let that singing set you free. Even when those dark clouds bring you down, there's a spark of joy that can be found. Even when things break and fall apart, lift your hands up from your heart, singing la 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 la. So every morning and every night, through the darkness into the light, like a beacon shining bright. Sing the Hajanga, you'll be alright. From the winter comes the spring. It don't matter what life you bring, you can do most anything. Give your Hajanga the song to sing. Tell your mama and tell your pa, sing it near and sing it far. Be exactly the way you are. See the Hajanga's your guiding star. Every heart and every hand, from every nation to every land. I said, please, you gotta understand. Sing the Hajanga and take my hand. Sing it. Then one day your life is through. Nothing more for you to do. So give away the things you know and tell your friends you love them so. Tell them Hajanga.